Right now at 4, community concerns. A temporary casino is coming to a busy area in downtown Chicago, and not everyone is on board. The reaction coming out of last night's meeting.
Then Congress is working to avoid major economic turmoil. The vote happening today and why it could have a major impact on the holiday season.
New bombshell details in the Delphi murder case. What newly released court documents are revealing.
New holiday travel predictions are rolling out, and you can expect to deal with another rush. A look at what's holding some travelers back.
And get ready for a major cold front coming in. The good news, though, the sun will still be shining. Aisha has a look at your forecast straight ahead. The news at 4 starts right now. 4 a.m. already. How does it get here so quickly? Good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren Petty in for Michelle.
And I'm JC Navarrete. It is great to have you guys with us here at 4 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. And it's great to have Aisha Scott joining us as well. We'll look at that first forecast. Yesterday at this time, I was telling you how it felt mild out there. Not this morning.
Not this morning at all. Yeah, yesterday was really nice. We actually got up to 58. And as you mentioned, JC, we started off in the 40s. 30s and 40s. We were mostly in the 40s. But yeah, yesterday was nice. Today, not so much. Let me show you these numbers right now. Good morning, everybody. It's 26 right now. This is at O'Hare, but keep in mind, it's breezy too. We've got a sustained wind out of the west. We had that cold front move through, so that shifted our winds around. 16 miles per hour right now, so it feels like it's 14 degrees outside. So that's what I want to focus on today, because yes, air temperatures will climb into the low 30s, but look at these wind chills today. 14 by 9 o'clock, 17 by 11. It will feel like 18 as we work our way towards the early afternoon. And then if you do have evening plans, 15 by 6 o'clock, it will feel like 13 as we head towards the 8 o'clock hour. So we've got a cold day in store today, another cold day tomorrow, but a little bit of a warm up to come as we wrap up the work week. We'll talk more about that and that full weekend forecast too. That's coming up.
All right, Aisha, thank you. Well, Bally's is building what would be Chicago's first ever casino in River West. But before that's completed, Bally's wants to build a temporary casino next year at the site of the former Medina Temple in River North.
That's right. A public meeting was held last night to discuss those issues here with residents and casino leaders. NBC5's Evrod Kasmi joins us live this morning in River North outside the former temple. Now, Evrod, this casino could be housed here on two of the busiest streets in the neighborhood.
Yeah, JC and Lauren, it would operate 24/7. The biggest concern for some of these residents, safety, traffic, and parking. And as you mentioned, there was that public meeting where these River North residents got a chance to weigh in. And there were well over 100 residents in attendance there giving their comments. That public comment portion of the meeting went on for over an hour. This temporary Bally's casino would open sometime in 2023, and it would include 1,000 gaming spots, several restaurants and bars spread across 3 floors. Listen to some of the concerns from River North residents as they spoke directly to Chicago city leaders and Bally's casino leaders.
We feel the study overestimates the number of patrons and employees who will walk, bike, or take public transit to and from the casino.
It's pretty clear the casino is a disruptive force in any neighborhood.
We don't have any confidence in this political or this process. We don't have no confidence.
So Bally's plan for safety would involve Chicago police, OEMC, and private security. Residents, however, were encouraged about the increase in jobs that this would bring and the community investment from Bally's. But as you heard there, they are clearly skeptical. So listen, coming up in our next half hour, Bally's casino leaders and Chicago city leaders actually heard those residents' concerns and spoke directly back to them. So we're going to let you hear their response. That's coming up in our next half hour at 4:30. For now, reporting live in River North, Evrod Kasmi, NBC5 News.
All right, Evrod, thank you. And developing this morning, parents take legal action after their kids were involved in a terrifying bus crash. 16 JV hockey players from St. Ignatius College Prep were hurt when a semi-truck slammed into their bus. Now their parents have filed a civil lawsuit against that bus driver, Victor Santos, or the truck driver, excuse me, Victor Santos and his trucking company.
For 50 minutes, we tried to figure out if these boys were alive.
Prosecutors claim the truck driver was intoxicated at the time of the crash. Well, some closure this morning for the family of a 12-year-old girl killed by a stray bullet. Nizaria Moore was on her way home after celebrating her birthday when she was hit.
Police have now announced murder charges against 2 men. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski has the very latest.
Neighborhood surveillance cameras captured the suspects on foot March 1st near 72nd and Oakley. Suddenly, when a car goes by, those cameras show the group opening fire, spraying the intersection with more than a dozen bullets. None hit their target, but one struck and killed Nazaria Moore, who was on her way home after celebrating her 12th birthday.
There's ongoing disputes in this specific area, and when they saw this other car, these individuals felt this other car may be an offending group, so they chose to fire at this separate car, and then the stray bullet hits this poor 12-year-old.
Now, after a 9-month investigation, which included this Chicago police-produced video released to YouTube, 2 of the suspects are in custody.
We are charging 22-year-old Malik Parrish and 20-year-old Abdul Ali, A-L-I. Both face 1 count of felony first-degree murder.
Still, police say the breakthrough in this case came by way of an anonymous tip.
We talk so much about the technology, but we always, we need somebody from the community, from inside, to help us out and point us in the right direction.
Community activist Andrew Holmes was among those handing out flyers in the wake of the killing. He says people are changing the way they think about cooperating with police.
People are tired. The community is tired. So they're not turning their heads anymore. They're giving up the information, feeding it to the detectives.
Police say one of the suspects has already confessed to the murder, as detectives are continuing their search for the 3rd person in this case. In West Englewood, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC 5 News.
Our thanks to Charlie for that story right there. 4:05 the time right now. Illinois Supreme Court Chief Justice Ann Burke retires from her post today. This comes a year before her husband, Alderman Ed Burke, is scheduled to stand trial on federal racketeering, bribery, and extortion charges. Burke's successor, Justice Joy Cunningham, will be sworn in tomorrow. The clock is ticking here for Congress to beat 2 major deadlines. One would prevent the nationwide rail strike. The other avoids a government shutdown.
Yeah, missing either of those deadlines could have severe economic consequences. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with details.
Congress is racing to beat a December 9th deadline to keep the railroad industry on track after contract negotiations stalled over issues like a lack of sick days.
It doesn't matter how much money you make if you can't spend time at home or you can't be homesick.
It's estimated a strike could cost the economy anywhere from $500 million a week to $2 billion a day. President Biden, meeting with congressional leaders, says lawmakers must intervene.
It's not an easy call, but I think we have to do it. The economy's at risk.
Top Republicans are on board with reaching a labor agreement, but criticized the need for it.
If you're passing a bill to force the rail workers to work, how strong is your economy?
Meanwhile, federal efforts to protect interracial and same-sex marriages are moving full steam ahead.
The bill, as amended, has passed.
Legislation passed the Senate with bipartisan support and now heads to the House.
We are able to send a message across the country that this is normal. These families are normal. These marriages are normal.
I really salute my colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle who stepped forward despite a lot of pressure.
Lawmakers are also under pressure to reach a budget deal by December 16th.
We all agreed that it should be done this year. We all agreed we had to work together and everybody had to give a little bit.
With deadlines to avert both a government shutdown and a rail strike fast approaching, Congress must act swiftly. Top Democrats say a vote to codify federal protections for same-sex and interracial marriages could come as soon as next Tuesday. If it does pass the House, it will then go to President Biden's desk for his signature. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
And while there's so much back and forth in Washington, one good news here is the U.S. Capitol is getting into that Christmas spirit. Take a look.
3, 2, 1.
All right, check it out. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi lit the official Capitol Christmas tree last night. The North Carolina red spruce stands 78 feet tall and is affectionately called Ruby. The tree is decorated with handcrafted ornaments from the good people of North Carolina. It will stay lit every single night until the new year.
And making a difference this morning, a young Chicago activist helps people experiencing homelessness on Giving Tuesday. 15-year-old Jaquil Jackson is leading an effort to distribute essential supplies to people in 60 cities. Jackson founded his organization when he was just 8. His blessing bags have helped 90,000 people.
And Lauren, check this out, because last night, NBC5's Regina Waldrop helped out with a fundraiser of her own here with the Animal Care League. Regina was locked in a kennel with only her phone and wasn't let out until she raised $1,500. We're happy to report that she reached that goal in just 2 hours.
Oh, she is a true animal lover. That is so great to see, and thank you for all the people who supported her as well.
She has like 7 pets at home, including a couple tortoises. It's so cool.
All right, well, coming up next for us, we have new revelations in the Delphi, Indiana murder case. Court documents revealing some new chilling evidence.
From one travel rush to the next, experts are laying out what you can expect to see this holiday season. Plus, an incredible buzzer beater. It came down to the very last second. An 8th grader ending the game against their school's biggest rivals. We'll show you it, but first, here's Aisha with the check of the forecast.
Oh man, we talked about this yesterday, that it was going to get colder, and you can see here the numbers starting off this morning. We're down 15 degrees compared to this time yesterday. It's 15 degrees colder in Waukegan as well as DuPage, Rockford. We're down 16 degrees right now in Morris. So where are the numbers? And also, it's going to be windy today. So what do those wind chills look like, and how long does it stay cold? We'll talk about all of that coming up.